Hello everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, we're diving into an emotional chapter of Yuri and Tu Tieu's journey, where the birth of their son brings joy, but also a shocking demand from Yuri's mother, a demand that could tear their family apart. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. After months of quiet, almost dreamlike peace out on the farm, Yuri and Tu Tieu were finally settling into a life that felt whole. The kind of life that made all the scars behind them feel worth it. Every sunrise felt softer. Every evening felt warmer. And for the first time, it seemed like the world was finally giving them space to breathe. But then came the moment that changed everything. One morning, Tu Tieu walked toward Yuri, hands trembling slightly, eyes shimmering with a mixture of fear and joy. Yuri turned, confused at first, until he saw the way she was clutching her belly. She didn't even need to say anything. Yuri's heart stopped. I think I'm pregnant, she whispered. And just like that, the whole world tilted. Yuri didn't respond with shock, or doubt, or even questions. No, he just grabbed her by the waist, lifted her right off the ground, and spun her around in the middle of the yard. He looked like a man who'd been handed the universe in a single breath. His eyes were wet, but he wasn't crying. He was glowing. "I'm going to be a father," he murmured into her hair. This is the greatest gift you've ever given me." From that day on, every step they took felt like building a new future. They fixed up the little bedroom near the back window. They argued about baby names, softly, lovingly. Yuri even carved a wooden cradle by hand, sanding it late into the night while humming under his breath. If happiness had a sound, it was those evenings. 9 months later, in a small room filled with the smell of warm blankets and herbal tea, Tu Tieu gave birth to a baby boy, and he was perfect. Tiny fingers, soft black hair, and eyes that looked exactly like Yuri's. Eyes that didn't just look at the world, they held it. When the midwife handed the child to Yuri, his hands shook, not from fear, but from a love so intense it swallowed him whole. "Hello, little one," he whispered, voice breaking. "Daddy's here." It should have been the beginning of a beautiful chapter. But happiness, as they would learn, can be fragile. After a few weeks, Yuri made a decision. He needed to bring Tu Tieu and their son back to his parents' home. He imagined a warm reunion, a proud grandmother, a family finally complete. But when they stepped through the front door, the reality was nothing like his dream. Yuri's mother didn't smile. She didn't reach out for the baby. She didn't even soften her voice. Instead, she stared at the child with a cold, sharp expression that sliced right through the room. "So," she said slowly, "this is supposed to be my grandson?" Yuri's steps faltered. Tu Tieu instinctively pulled the baby closer, as if shielding him from the frost in the woman's voice. Then came the words that froze everything in place. "If you want me to accept this child, then we need a DNA test. I want proof that he really belongs to Yuri." The air left Tu Tieu's lungs, her face drained of color. It wasn't just mistrust. This was humiliation, delivered without hesitation. You think I would deceive Yuri?" she managed to say, her voice trembling despite her effort to stay steady. Yuri's mother didn't even bother meeting her eyes. "I want certainty," she said plainly. "This family will not raise another man's child." Yuri's jaw tightened. He stepped closer, anger rising under his skin. "Mom, what are you talking about? He's my son." But his mother stood firm. "Then take the test," she said simply. "If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. If I'm right, she leaves this house." It was like watching a blade drop between them. Tears spilled down Tu Tieu's cheeks. Not loud sobs, just quiet, stunned heartbreak. After everything she and Uri had overcome, she never imagined that the deepest wound would come from the people connected to him by blood. Uri moved immediately, stepping between her and his mother, shielding Tu Tieu and their infant with the full weight of his body. "I'm not letting anyone insult my wife," he said, voice low but trembling with fury. "Not anymore." His mother glared. "So you're choosing her over your own mother?" Uri didn't hesitate. "Yes," he said, "because she and our child are my family now." The house went silent, not the calm, peaceful kind of silence. This was the heavy, suffocating kind. The kind that fills your chest with pressure until even breathing feels dangerous. They all stood there, no one willing to look away first, and for a moment, it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. Later that night, long after the confrontation had settled into an uneasy quiet, Uri held Tu Tieu close while she nursed the baby. Her body trembled in his arms, but when she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "I can face hardship, Uri. You know I can. But I can't bear watching our child be doubted like this." Uri didn't answer. He couldn't. Her pain had cut deeper than anything his mother could have said. "All I wanted," she continued softly, "was a family, not another war." Those words broke something inside him. The next morning, while the house was still quiet, Tu Tieu packed her things. She didn't yell. She didn't slam doors. She simply held her baby close, lifted her chin, and walked toward the exit. Not because she was wrong, not because she was guilty, but because she still had her pride. Uri appeared just as she reached the yard, rushing toward her. The moment she turned, he pulled her into his arms, holding her as if the world itself was slipping away. "I'm going with you," he said, breathless. "I choose you and our son, always." Behind them, the front door closed with a hard, echoing click. The kind of sound that didn't just mark the end of a moment, it marked the end of a family. Uri didn't look back as he stepped out of the old house, holding Tu Tieu and their newborn son tightly. The air felt colder than usual, heavy enough to almost suffocate them. Behind them, the door closed firmly. No apology, no call to return, only silence. Uri pulled the baby closer to his chest and whispered, "From now on, no one will ever make our child feel unwelcome again." They rented a small, worn-out apartment in the outskirts, with creaky wooden floors and peeling paint. It wasn't the farm, nor Uri's childhood home, but it was the only place they could breathe freely. On the first night, Uri worked late into the evening, building a wooden crib from reclaimed wood, sanding every edge and tightening every screw. When Tu Tieu woke up and saw him collapsed beside the crib with the baby on his chest, her heart clenched. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. Uri gave her a tired smile. "I want our child to have something made by his father's hands." But their happiness didn't last long. 3 days later, Uri returned from the market with bruised hands and a tense expression. When Tu Tieu asked what had happened, he hesitated. "Mom, she's spreading rumors that our son isn't mine." Those words hit Tu Tieu like a knife. The gossip spread quickly. Neighbors whispering, acquaintances turning away, some cruelly claiming she had tricked Uri into becoming a father. Tu Tieu tried to ignore it, but each word cut deep. Uri couldn't escape it either. One night, he returned home with a bruise on his cheek after confronting people who doubted his son. "Uri, people are hurting you because of me," she whispered. He shook his head. "No, they're hurting us because they don't want to see the truth." That night, Uri sat by the window, the dim streetlight casting shadows across his tense face while the baby slept nearby. His voice was low. "I always imagined that introducing my wife and child would bring joy, that Mom would hold our son and smile. But now, the only future I see is one we have to build ourselves." Tu Tieu rested her head on his shoulder. "I don't want to take you away from your mother." Uri kissed her forehead gently. "You're not taking anything from me. She's the one pushing us away." Then one evening, Uri's mother appeared unexpectedly at the apartment, staring straight at the baby in Tutu's arms. "I'll give you one last chance," she said, her voice full of challenge. "Take a DNA test." Uri immediately stepped forward. "Mom, stop." She ignored him, turning her words to Tu Tieu. "If you're confident, prove it. This house will not raise another man's child." Uri's anger flared, but she remained unmoved. "If the child is truly Uri's, I will apologize. If not, you will leave this house forever." Tu Tieu stood frozen, her throat tight. She had endured humiliation, judgment, and pain, but this moment was different. When Uri's mother demanded the test again for the first time, Uri hesitated just slightly. He didn't agree, but he didn't deny it outright. That brief hesitation was enough to shatter Tu Tieu's heart. "Uri," she whispered, "if even you hesitate, then I don't belong here." Uri grabbed her hand quickly. "No, Tu Tieu, listen to me. I don't think that." But she stepped back, holding the baby tight. "I love you because you trust me. But now, I don't know if you still do." Uri's mother watched them, eyes sharp, as if waiting for her victory. Tu Tieu walked straight to the door without looking back. Uri panicked. "Tu Tieu, wait!" She didn't turn around. This time, she walked with determination. For the first time since becoming a father, Uri felt a fear he had never known. The fear of losing the woman he loved more than life itself. After months of happiness on the farm, Uri and Tu Tieu welcomed their baby boy, a symbol of their love. But their joy quickly turns to tension when Uri's mother doubts the child's parentage and demands a DNA test. The accusation leaves Tu Tieu feeling humiliated and betrayed, prompting her to leave with their son to protect her dignity. Uri refuses to abandon his family and follows them, choosing to stand by Tu Tieu and their child no matter the consequences. Facing hostility from his mother, Uri's unwavering love and courage paved the way for a new chapter in their lives, a family built on trust, respect, and the bond they share.